Hello. So this is going to be the Oli Overview for the 3rd and 4th of August, because I suddenly realised that there's no reason why I shouldn't do the ones I've missed the day after. It is a retrospective after all. So first, August the 3rd. In AD 70, on August the 3rd, the fires resulting from the destruction of the Second Temple of Jerusalem were finally extinguished. That's good. In 435 AD, the deposed ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople, I'm going to get this name wrong, Nestorius, is exiled by Theodosius II to a monastery in Egypt. In 1031, Olaf II of Norway is canonized as a saint, as Saint Olaf, by, and get this is a brilliant name, Grimkettle, the English Bishop of Selsey. In 1492, on the 3rd of August, Christopher Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera, in search of the New World. He thought he was sailing to the East Indies. He ran into America, sort of, Caribbean. Anyway, in 1778, the Milan theatre La Scala is inaugurated. In 1795, the Treaty of Greenville is signed, ending the Northeast Indian War in the Ohio country. In 1818, there was, on the 4th of August, there was the first ascent of the Jungfrau, which is the 3rd highest summit in the Bernese Alps, by the brothers Johann Rudolf and Hieronymus Meyer. Hieronymus, look at that. In 1829, the Treaty of Lewistown is signed by the Shawnee and Seneca peoples, exchanging land in Ohio for lands west of the Mississippi. And in 1900, on the 3rd of August, the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company was founded, still alive today. In 1914, Germany declared war on France on the 3rd of August, at the same time as Romania declared its neutrality in what would become the First World War. In 1948, Whittaker Chambers accuses Alger Hiss of being both a communist and a spy for the Soviet Union, thus giving rise to the wonderful West Wing line, "I think Alger Hiss just came in and he's holding my secret pumpkin." In 1958, the USS Nautilus becomes the first vessel to complete a submerged transit of the North Pole. It was also the first nuclear submarine in the world. And in 1997, the tallest freestanding structure in the Southern Hemisphere, the Sky Tower in Auckland, New Zealand, opens. If you were born on the 3rd of August, you share your birthday with Imperia Cognati, an Italian courtesan of the 15th century, with John Henley, a British poet and minister, which I assume means religious minister, but it's not clear. Aaron Chorin, or Korin, Hungarian rabbi and author. Joseph Paxton, who was a gardener, but also was the architect of the Crystal Palace. With Hamilton Fish, who I had to include because he's called Fish. I mean, amazing. Hamilton Fish. He was an American lawyer and politician, and he was the 26th United States Secretary of State. Also with Alfred Deakin, Australian lawyer, politician, and second Prime Minister of Australia. Rupert Brooke, British poet. Rona Anderson, Scottish-English actor. Terry Wogan, Irish-English radio and TV personality. Martin Sheen, American actor and producer. And Jenny Tinmouth, British motorcycle racer. Oh, and Evangeline Lilly, Canadian model and actor. Famously appeared in Lost, in case you're confused. But she's also the Wasp in Marvel world. In the news on the 3rd of August, the Premier of Victoria, Daniel Andalus, ordered temporary closures of retail businesses in line with the new lockdown level 4 in and around Melbourne. Darth Cheeto, the President of the United States, threatened to sue the Nevada governor over state legislation requiring mail-in ballots to be sent to all registered voters in Nevada for the general election in November, because he's got it in for mail-in ballots. Also, on the 3rd of August, it came to light that classified UK trade documents were leaked that were leaked ahead of the UK general election last year were hacked by Russian operatives attacking the email of Liam Fox, who was then the International Trade Secretary. And the UN Security Council Sanctions Committee reported that North Korea has almost certainly developed miniaturized nuclear devices that would fit on the warheads of its ballistic missiles. So that's a sunny thought. Moving on to the 4th of August, which we've just had. I'm going to change hands because I'm getting tired holding the phone. In 1327, on the 4th of August, the First Scottish War of Independence was in full swing, and James Douglas led a raid into Weedale, almost succeeding in killing Edward III, the King of England. In 1693, on the 4th of August, that's the date traditionally ascribed to Dom Perignon's invention of champagne. Now, there's some controversy over whether Dom Perignon actually did invent champagne, but he was certainly one of the innovators that made the making of champagne much more feasible. In 1783, Mount Asama in Japan erupted, killing about 1,400 people, but it also triggered a famine that went on to kill an estimated 20,000 more people, which is pretty horrific. In 1889, on the 4th of August, there was the Great Fire of Spokane, Washington, which destroyed 32 city blocks and triggered a major rebuilding program in the city. Other sad news, I'm afraid. August the 4th was the day in 1944 when the Gestapo arrested Anne Frank and her family in Amsterdam. Neither Anne Frank nor any of her family survived the experience. In 1984, on the 4th of August, the Republic of Upper Volta in Africa renamed itself to Burkina Faso. And I would go on to go to school with someone whose father did business in Burkina Faso. So hi Felipe, how you doing? Anyway, if you were born on the 4th of August, you share your birthday with 13th century 6th Earl of Gloucester, Richard de Clare, with Margaret of Saxony, Duchess of Brunswick-Lüneburg, Thomas Blackwell, Scottish historian and scholar, Louis Vuitton, French fashion designer and founder of the Louis Vuitton company, with Knut Hamsun, Norwegian novelist, poet, philosopher, playwright, and also Nobel laureate. You also share your birthday, if you're born on the 4th of August, with Percy Bysshe Shelley, British poet. And amazingly, you also share your birthday with Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, the late mother of our current sovereign. You also share your birthday with Ellen Schrecker, US historian and academic, with Don S. Davis, US actor, painter and sculptor. And you may remember him as, I'm trying to remember, is it Harlan Briggs in Twin Peaks, or as the commanding officer in Stargate SG-1, amongst other things. You also share your birthday with Billy Bob Thornton, US actor, director and screenwriter. Daniel Dae Kim, South Korean actor. Well, he's a South Korean American actor. And in continuing the sort of royal theme, although recent events mean she's not quite as royal as she was, Meghan Markle, US actor. The news on the 4th of August was quite interesting, really. Kind of sad and tragic. A gigantic explosion in the city of Beirut in the Lebanon has left dozens dead and thousands injured when apparently, although I'm sure more will come to light in time, an initial explosion triggered a far greater explosion when a warehouse full of ammonium nitrate went off. So that was pretty unfortunate, and the video footage is terrifying. So anyway, in other news, on the 4th of August, thousands of Scottish pupils have received their exam results in Nationals Highers and Advanced Highers to find that their grades were not what they expected. The Scottish Qualifications Authority has moderated a lot of their grades downwards. The point has been made that it's been modified downwards in line with statistical reality, but clearly there will be cases where this is quite unfair. And it's all the more confusing because none of them sat in the exams in the first place because of COVID-19. So pretty harrowing day if you're in that particular age group right now. Also in the news on the 4th of August, the Spanish people, and more specifically the Spanish media, are desperately trying to figure out where Emeritus King Juan Carlos II, has disappeared too. He's left the country amidst concerns over the effect that the investigations into his alleged corruption charges is having on the country and his son's ability to act as the now King Felipe VI. Not the Felipe I was greeting earlier when we were talking about the 3rd of August, just to be clear. In slightly happier news for some people, but not for others, Fulham Football Club has managed to secure passage back into the Premiership for next season. So that's the longest one I've done of these so far, and now my other hand's hurting, so I'm going to swap hands again. Oh, getting my thumb in the frame there, that's very unprofessional. I'm going to encourage you to set any reminders or alarms that you need in order to make sure you take your medication or do some important thing in your life. And I'm going to encourage you all to just, soldier on and stay the hell away from people. That's what we're doing anyway. I mean, not completely, but it's clearly still not safe out there, and I would love to think that you would all be around when it is safer out there for me to see you again in person. So perhaps just, stay home. Wear a mask if you must go out. Stay home otherwise. It's basically what we're going for. And I shall bid you a fond farewell for now. Back tomorrow with an overview of the 5th of August, which will be a Wednesday.